What's up guys and welcome to FPL Today. I'm the man in the know, JNO, and welcome to my team for Game Week 33 Transfer Thoughts, where I go over the thought process behind my moves that I'm planning on making for Game Week 33 to hopefully give you guys an insight and some help in your decisions in the Fantasy Premier League. So if you're excited for the run into the end of the season, please smash that like button and leave your comments down below with your questions and comments on the video, and I'll do my best to reply to as many of them as possible, and let's get on with the video. So before we get to transfer thoughts, I do want to just quickly update you guys on how I am doing in double game week 32. Now this is being recorded on Monday before the Arsenal versus Newcastle game, and I'm currently sitting on 54 points with all 11 of my players having played. The big performances have come from Aguero, who does have my captaincy armband. Now, if you were following me on Twitter, a lot of you would have seen my tweets where I had Sterling as captain. I did get cold feet at around 11:28-29 and went to put it on Aguero. But in my office at work, my phone doesn't get good signal, so I didn't think it had confirmed and gone through. My phone wouldn't show Aguero as captain. However, lo and behold, when Manchester City started scoring goals and Aguero was involved, I was a bit disappointed. Then I went to check Fantasy Football Fix. They have an app where you can check your live rank and how your players are doing, and it showed Aguero as captain, so I guess I got a little bit lucky there. But alongside Aguero, Rashford did manage to get a goal, getting 7 points as well, and Jeffrey Schlupp, Kurtjoy has him as captain. If you haven't checked out the Wildcats video where Kurtjoy has the captain armband, the man that gets picked from the globe box, because FPL Dare was our special guest. Schlupp got me 6 points, and Laporte also got me a clean sheet with 7 points. Other than that, no massive performances by anyone, which is disappointing. 3 Chelsea players, none of them involved in the 2 goals that they scored against Cardiff. If you're a Cardiff fan watching this channel, I feel very sorry for you because that first goal clearly shouldn't have stood. I haven't seen anything else from the game, but Chelsea players are making a habit of disappointing me this season. And then we do have on the bench Bednarak with 7 points, which is annoying. And Gaeta, probably saying that wrong, Crystal Palace's goalkeeper, 9 points sitting on my bench. So unless Foster does something in his next game against Fulham at home, which fingers crossed you'd hope he would, I may have picked the wrong goalkeeper to go in my net. That has seen me rise in rank by about 1,000. I'm now 19,420th. But it looks like a lot of people have around the same point. So fingers crossed for the second half of this double game week. And let's get on to game week 33. So the fires I need to put out. We'll cover this quickly because I have just spent some time talking about game week 32. But Salah versus Mane. I have Salah in my side. I've had him in my side for a while. In fact, all of the season. And Mane has severely been outperforming him recently. So there's the question of, do I switch Salah for Mane? Liverpool double up in defence. It was working for a lot of people until I jumped on board. And now it's not been working, of course, unless you had Robertson for game week 32, where it did work for you. And then, is Hazard worth it? I've been very disappointed with the Chelsea options at the moment, but I'll look a bit deeper into if I should be keeping Eden Hazard in my side for game week 33 and onwards. So we get onto the fixture part of the episode, and on the screen right there are the teams that I feel like do have good fixtures till the end of the season. And now this goes all the way up to game week 38, with 6 game weeks left from game week 33 onwards. And Arsenal are top of the pile with Everton, Watford, Crystal Palace and Wolves, Leicester, Brighton Hove Albion and Burnley. That's a very nice run into the end of the season. Southampton also have a good run into the end of the season once they get past Liverpool in game week 33. So they could be a side to look at for your game week 34 wildcards. They have Wolves, Newcastle, Watford, Bournemouth, West Ham and Huddersfield after that Liverpool game. Then Bournemouth come back into the list. They have Burnley, Brighton Hove Albion, Fulham, Southampton. They do have Tottenham in game week 37, but then Crystal Palace, so they could be a decent look. You've got Newcastle with Crystal Palace, Leicester, Southampton, Brighton Hove Albion, Liverpool in game week 37, but then Fulham in the final game week of the season. And then we have Liverpool as well, good run into the end of the season, which could be a plus for them, with them chasing the title. Southampton, Chelsea, Cardiff, Huddersfield, Newcastle and Wolves. Then you have Tottenham and Man United finishing this list. Both have blanks in game week 33. But then Spurs have Huddersfield. Do have Man City in double game week 35. Brighton Hove Albion, West Ham, Bournemouth and Everton. And then Man United game week 34 onwards. West Ham, Everton, Man City, Chelsea, Huddersfield and Cardiff. So Man United do have 2 tough opponents still to come until the end of the season, but those are the teams that stand out. Man City still, of course, do have favourable fixtures, but they do have some tough ones in there as well. As you can see in double game at 35, they have Tottenham and Man United, so I still fancy Man United options to score points, but they just haven't made this list. So we have a quick look at my team for Game Week 33 before we get onto the fires to put out, and we can see Tom Heaton in goal against Bournemouth. Bournemouth do usually score goals, so I'm not sure Heaton is going to really justify me picking him before my wild card when I picked him around Game Week 28 or 29. As a differential, it hasn't worked out, unfortunately. Van Dijk does have a caution over him about injury, which is why at the moment Schindler is in defence. It is Leicester, it is at home, but it is Huddersfield, so I've never managed to get any of Huddersfield's clean sheet points, so that's really disappointing. But we do have Robertson against Southampton away and Digne against Arsenal at home in defence. We then have a five-man midfield of Hazard, Barnes, Salah, Almiron and Fraser. To be honest, all of them have good-looking fixtures, as do Vardy and Callum Wilson. So the fixtures look good for that side, but there is, of course, issues with that side and my confidence in some of those players. And the first confidence issue is with Mohamed Salah. Right now, Mohamed Salah is 13.2 million and just isn't justifying that price tag. Yes, he is still scoring points. He got an assist in Game Week 32, but we want more than that from a prospect like Salah when you've got the likes of Sadio Mane, Sterling and others around that are being more explosive options for a much cheaper price. In the last 6 game weeks he's played in 21 points, 2 returns from 6 and both assists. He has had great underlying stats, but he's just not doing anything with them. 60 penalty area touches, 22 attempts on goal, 12 from inside the box, 9 on target, 2 big chances, only 4 chances created, none being big chances, and an expected goal involvement of 2.58. Now the direct comparison, of course, is Sadio Mane, who would be easy to bring in and he's 3 million cheaper. He's got 48 points in the last 6 game weeks he's played in with 3 returns in 6, 5 goals and 1 assist. The returns are just so much better. He's also got 5 bonus points. Again, so much better than Salah for 3 million cheaper. You then have penalty area touches. That is lower. Attempts on goal, lower. And from inside the box is lower, as well as on target. 33, 13, 10 and 5. A lot worse than Mohamed Salah. But then when you look at big chances, Mane's getting better chances. 6 big chances to 2. And then chance created, 15 chances created to Salah's 4, with 1 big chance created and an expected goal involvement of 3.92, which is significantly better than Mohamed Salah. So right now it could be an easy swap to bring in Mane for Mohamed Salah. Now yes, Salah could suddenly find form. Mane could suddenly go cold. Mane has been known to be a player that can go hot and cold. It could all suddenly change, but right now the stats are telling us Mane's the informed player, Salah isn't. We then move on to the Liverpool double up in defence, and I've told myself after the disappointment of Game Week 31 when Fulham scored against Liverpool that I don't fancy doubling up on defence anymore. Now, if I double up on Chelsea defence, I may have had Azpilicueta and I may have got some points in Game Week 32, but I just don't like doubling up on any defence after Liverpool concede to Fulham when that seemed like a given clean sheet. All it takes is 1 goal to get rid of a clean sheet. It has worked for people, but to me the points can be cleared out very, very quickly. However, the fact is at Liverpool there are plenty of good options for defence. Van Dijk and Robertson are the ones I own. Of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold is another. And if we have a look at their last 6 game weeks, Van Dijk's got 40 points, Robertson's got 37. Robertson has returned in 4 out of 6 games, Van Dijk in 3. 2 goals for Van Dijk, 3 assists for Robertson, plenty of bonus points, 5 and 6 for each. And as you can see, they both do have some goal threat and some chance creation, although of course Robertson's chance creation is much more than Van Dijk's, and Van Dijk's goal threat is slightly better than Robertson's, and Van Dijk has scored this season, Robertson hasn't. However, if we look at Liverpool's defence as well, they've conceded 4 goals in the last 6 game weeks. They've got 3 clean sheets, which is a good record to be fair, but they've conceded 39 shots with 23 from inside the box, 15 on target, 5 big chances conceded with 2 errors leading to goals. All it takes is one of those errors. All it takes is a moment of magic from the opposition and the clean sheets are wiped out. With Van Dijk being a risk for Game Week 33, if I do use a hit because I think my transfer may be used elsewhere beforehand, I'm probably not going to double up on their defence anymore, just for my own sanity. And then finally we move on to Eden Hazard, and I'll probably also talk generally about Chelsea as well in this. And this kind of goes back to also having the availability of Mane to be brought in. Again, 1 million cheaper than Hazard. Hazard and Chelsea just haven't impressed me recently. They've just scraped a win against Cardiff, which they probably didn't deserve. Sorry if you're a Chelsea fan, but that first goal shouldn't have stood. 11 million for a player that's got 22 points, 2 returns from the last 6, 1 goal, 1 assist, 4 bonus points. Again, it just seems too much money spent when there are other inform options. The same goes with Higuain. Potentially you could stick with a Chelsea defender if you think their fixtures are good enough and they'll get clean sheets. But my confidence in the players and also the manager Sarri is pretty much at an all-time low. I really wanted to avoid them in game week 32. My gut was telling me to, but then I thought with those fixtures, they could be such a big differential if I go big on Chelsea. And unfortunately, it's not paid out with the first game. Of course, there is a second game, but rotation is a possibility. Hazard was rested, so hopefully Hazard gets something big and I can eat my words later on in this week. But with all those penalty area touches, attempts on goal, shots from inside the box, and shots on target, which are only being at 4 when he's had 11 attempts, and the fact that he's not creating big chances, although he's creating plenty of chances, and the expected goal involvement at 1.59 for Hazard, that just doesn't seem good enough when you compare him with Mane. We have already talked about Mane's stats, but you can see expected goal involvement at 3.92. That's more than double Eden Hazard's, and the stats just speak for themselves. Mane is much more of a threat at the moment than Hazard. And then you can look at someone in game week 33 like Henrik Mkhitaryan, 6.8 million. That's a lot cheaper than Eden Hazard. Now, game time isn't as assured for Mkhitaryan as it is for Hazard, but in the last 6 games that Mkhitaryan has played in, and at that price where you can rotate him with another midfielder potentially, so if he doesn't play, another midfielder comes in, 49 points, 3 returns from the last 6 games, 4 goals, 3 assists. When he's on form and Arsenal in form, he's plenty capable of getting goals and assists. 18 penalty area touches, a lot less than Hazard, but 11 attempts on goal, which is the same, 6 from inside the box, 5 on target, 5 shots on target, better than Eden Hazard despite less penalty area touches and having the same amount of shots on goal but less from inside the box, with 3 big chances when Hazard hasn't had any. And 9 chances created, yes, that's not as many as Eden Hazard, but 5 of his chances created have been big chances, whereas Hazard has only created 1. And I think that speaks to the chance creation of Arsenal as a team being better than Eden Hazard's. And like we said earlier in the video, Arsenal do have a good run of fixtures towards the end of the season. So I guess you can say, if you want to take a punt on an Arsenal player, Mkhitaryan's looking very promising. The issue is, of course, game time. But even Mkhitaryan, expected goal involvement at 2.72, that is almost double what Eden Hazard has as far as expected goal involvement. Now, just like I said with Salah, there is the risk of you making this move and then Hazard suddenly finding form. But you could wait for that all season and it never happened. Potentially that's what I've done with Salah. I've been waiting for it to happen and it just hasn't. Or you can make the move, and that is a decision you're ultimately going to have to make for yourself. But I'm just here to give you my thought process behind potentially transferring out Hazard and Mohamed Salah. And to be honest, Mohamed Salah, although potentially not getting a goal like Hazard has recently, is in a side which I just have more confidence in than Chelsea. So it could be Mane comes in for Hazard for a saving of 1 million. Anyway guys, hopefully this video has helped you out with your Game Week 33 preparation. If it has, please leave in the comments down below what your thought process is and we can have a discussion. I've been getting pretty good at answering the comments. Also, check out all the links in the description down below if you want to support the channel in any way. And with all that being said, we're going to try and get plenty of content out for Game Week 33, despite the fact that Game Week 32 is going on. We don't stop on this channel, at least if I can help it. Anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.